The misuse of authority when religion wields temporal power. From the dawn of civilization, human societies have seen spiritual authority consolidated into structures that claim divine sanction. Leaders of religious institutions, cloaked in sacred vestments, have too often assumed their spiritual insight qualifies them to govern society. This conflation of spiritual authority with temporal administration has repeatedly resulted in injustice, inefficiency, and societal stagnation.
When a religious leader decrees laws, interprets scripture, or enforces moral codes as absolute, the human element, the variability of circumstance, the changing needs of society, and the development of knowledge is often ignored. Spiritual authority becomes a tool of power rather than a source of guidance. Baha'u'llah cautions that the very purpose of religion can be subverted by those who claim to represent it. The purpose of religion as revealed from the heaven of God's holy will is to establish unity and concord amongst the peoples of the world. Make it not the cause of dissension and strife. He further explains that while religion is essential for order, it is easily corrupted. Religion is the chief instrument for the establishment of order in the world. Should the lamp of religion be obscured, chaos and confusion will ensue. Baha'u'llah, Tablets of Baha'u'llah, page 125.
The veneration and vilification of other religions by religious leaders. This pattern of misapplied authority is rooted in a recurring cycle in religious history, that of revelation and rejection. When a new manifestation of God appears, he often proclaims, "All are astray save through me. The path to salvation lies solely in my cause." This is not arrogance, but the nature of revelation itself. Each divine envoy establishes a new covenant and calls humanity to the exclusive channel of grace for that age. Yet, over centuries, the clergy distort this truth into sectarian rivalry, using it to brand other faiths as false and their followers as condemned. This is enabled by the clergy's false claim to authority. These divines arrogated to themselves the right of interpreting the words of God and of proclaiming His law. Baha'u'llah, Kitab-i-Iqan, page 124.
This leads to the dehumanization of disbelievers. In many religions, non-believers have historically been cast as subhuman. In Mosaic law, the entire city of Jericho was annihilated, men, women, and even animals. In later Jewish and Christian traditions, unbelievers were likened to dogs or dead. In Islamic jurisprudence, non-Muslims were historically declared najis, ritually unclean. Such views were absorbed by clergy, justifying hatred, exclusion, and even slaughter as a divine duty. This is a direct consequence of following religious figures rather than the truth itself. They clung to the hem of the garment of the divines and turned aside from Him who is the ornament of the countenance of God. Baha'u'llah, Epistle to the Son of the Wolf, page 17. This same spirit persists today. In modern Iran, the jurisprudence dictated by the highest religious authorities creates a systematic framework for persecution. The supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, issued a fatwa that states, Original Persian, Basmahu ta'ala jamia afrad faraqahu zalo, Bahai mehkum bihi kufr wa najasat hastand wa izghaza, wa sair cheeza hai ki ba, rutubat masri dar tamas ba, anha bauda, ist baid ijtinab kard, wabar momineen wajib ast kahba, helah wa fasadgari, en farqahu gamrah muqabilahu kanand. Translation: In His name, the exalted all individuals of the misguided Baha'i sect are condemned as infidels and ritually unclean, najis, and one must avoid food and other things that have been in contact with them through a contaminating moisture. It is incumbent upon the believers to confront the deceit and subversiveness of this misguided sect. This ruling is reinforced by similar fatwas from other leading jurisprudence. Ayatollah Makaram Shirazi has decreed that Baha'is are no longer Muslims. and that any relationship with them is forbidden. Ayatollahs Tabrizi, Sistani, and Bahjat have issued rulings that prohibit or limit business transactions with Baha'is to prevent their economic strengthening, with Ayatollah Bahjat declaring such transactions absolutely not permissible. The effect of these rulings, when combined with constitutional law, is devastating. In Isfahan alone, 22 Baha'is were imprisoned, and their homes and properties were confiscated on the claim that they had no right to own anything since their faith is deemed gair mashru, illegitimate. Article 49 of the Iranian Constitution declares that any property not considered mashru, that is, not sanctioned by Islamic law, must be seized. Thus, merely being of a different faith renders one dispossessed. This is a betrayal of the divine trust. These divines have failed their people and betrayed God. Baha'u'llah, Epistle to the Son of the Wolf, Page 17.
Such dehumanization reveals how clergy, by arrogating divine authority, turned religion from a fountain of compassion into a weapon of exclusion. The true test is not a person's affiliation, but their conduct, as Abdul Baha affirms, never should anyone belittle another, for it is through the power of God that all souls are created. In the sight of God there is no distinction of persons, all are his servants. Abdul Baha. Selections from the writings of Abdul Baha, page 255.
The clergy's opposition and subsequent shift. The historical conflict between clerical authority and social progress is vividly documented. The Shah's White Revolution reforms, particularly those concerning women's rights, met with strong opposition from the clergy. In a telegram to the Shah dated 17th May 1341, October 9, 1962, Ruhollah Khomeini voiced his concerns over the reforms that granted women the right to vote and did not require religious affiliation for voters and candidates in provincial and local councils. The document reads, in part, original Persian, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, Huzur Mubarak, Aile Hazrat Hamayuni pas is ihdaye tahit wa dua, bihi tawriqeh dar roznama, ha muntashir ist, dawlat dar anjaman-hai ayalati, wa vilayati, Islam ra dar ra'i, dahandagan wa muntakhabin shart nikarde, wa bihi zinha haq ra'i dadah ist. وأن أمر موجب نگرانی علماء إعلام وسائر طبقات مسلمين ist. Translation: In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, to the blessed presence of His Imperial Majesty. After greetings and prayers, as published in the newspapers, the government has not made Islam a condition for voters and candidates in provincial and local councils, and has granted women the right to vote. This matter is a cause of concern for the eminent clerics and other classes of Muslims. This telegram is a clear historical record of the entrenched clerical opposition to women's political participation. It shows that Khomeini, prior to the revolution, saw these reforms as incompatible with religious law and a threat to societal order. However, after the Iranian Revolution, Khomeini's stance underwent a pragmatic and significant change. After his return to Iran in 1979, the same principles he had vehemently opposed, women in positions of authority, became practical realities under his new regime. His new government, in a remarkable shift, began to utilize women in public roles, including in politics. This inconsistency illustrates the flexible and often pragmatic nature of clerical authority when it is intertwined with temporal power. The Islamic Republic, established under Khomeini's leadership, has since allowed women to hold ministerial offices, serve in parliament, and occupy other high-ranking political positions. This is a profound change from the position expressed in his 1962 telegram and highlights how the needs of political consolidation can lead religious leaders to adopt policies they previously condemned. Baha'u'llah points to this phenomenon, stating, "The flame they kindled consumed themselves. They kindled the fire of hostility, and it burnt up their own selves." Baha'u'llah, Epistle to the Son of the Wolf, Misuse 17. The divines have instigated the people to commit that which caused the tears of every man of understanding to flow. They have enwrapped themselves in the garment of authority and set themselves up as rulers over the people. Baha'u'llah, Epistle to the Son of the Wolf, Parja 17.
The Baha'i Teachings on True Governance. The Baha'i teachings offer a clear remedy. Spiritual authority must be distinguished from administrative governance. True societal progress requires systems based on consultation, justice, and rational deliberation, free from dogmatic infallibility. Spiritual insight should illuminate and guide, not dominate or dictate. The Baha'i administrative system, which operates through elected councils rather than a professional clergy, is designed to prevent this very problem. As Baha'u'llah states, consultation offers the gift of understanding. The source of all learning is the knowledge of God. Exalted be His glory. And this cannot be attained save through the knowledge of His divine manifestation. Baha'u'llah, Tablets of Baha'u'llah, Parja 156. This knowledge is then applied through consultation. Take ye counsel together in all matters. The maturity of the gift of understanding is made manifest through consultation. Baha'u'llah, Tablets of Baha'u'llah, Parja 168. The shining spark of truth cometh forth only after the clash of differing opinions. Consultation bestoweth greater awareness and transmutes conjecture into certitude. Abdul Baha. Selections from the writings of Abdul Baha, Parja 87. The great being saith, the heaven of divine wisdom is illumined with the two luminaries of consultation and compassion. Baha'u'llah, Tablets of Baha'u'llah, Parja 168.
Here I want to share with everyone the photos of the destruction of the Haziratul Quds of the Baha'is of Tehran by the direct edict of the Shah after he succumbed to Muslim Ayatollah out of fear. He ordered his army to demolish the dome of the Baha'i society in the capital. Yet history also demonstrates the ephemeral nature of such claims to power. When Khomeini returned to Iran in 1979, he was supported in part by armed Muslim women who had fought to enable his triumph. Suddenly, the same principles he had previously opposed, women in positions of authority, became practical realities under his new regime. Today, the Islamic Republic even allows women to hold ministerial offices, illustrating the inconsistency and pragmatism often underlying clerical authority. In conclusion, the historical record, from Caiaphas to Khomeini, illustrates the tragic consequences when religious authority becomes a weapon rather than a guiding cord. The Baha'i vision prescribes a society where spiritual understanding and temporal administration collaborate without conflation, where consultation, justice, and wisdom govern the social sphere, and love, humility, and obedience to God guide the spiritual sphere. Only by separating these functions can society achieve true justice, progress, and civilization. Baha'u'llah writes, "The best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. By its aid, thou shalt see with thine own eyes and not through the eyes of others." Baha'u'llah, The Hidden Words, Arabic Number 2. The great being saith, "Blessed and happy is he that ariseth to promote the best interests of the peoples and kindreds of the earth. Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch." Baha'u'llah, Gleanings from the Writings of Baha'u'llah, Pajn 288.